Some royal sisters shared crowns, others shared rivalry. Behind the palace walls, sisterhood often turns into silent wars. Power, love, inheritance, or jealousy tears them apart. One sister stole a throne, another leaked to the press. Some refused to ever speak again. These weren't fairy tale princesses, they were queens and duchesses, caught in battles of blood and ambition. So which royal sisters went from inseparable to foes? Here are 12 true stories where royal sisters became foes later in life. At number 12, we have Infanta Pilar and Infanta Margarita of Spain. Sisters and senior figures of the Spanish royal family maintained a long and discreet rivalry that spanned decades. Raised largely in exile before returning to Spain as adults, their contrasting temperaments became apparent in the post-Franco era. Pilar, known for her conservative outlook and leadership in charitable and equestrian circles, often clashed with Margarita's more social and outspoken personality. Accounts from biographers and acquaintances point to reoccurring tensions, notably in an incident in 1995 when Pilar allegedly shortened Margarita's wings during a family dispute. While both continued to attend official family events, they were rarely seen together privately, and by the early 2000s their relationship had grown distant, marked by cold formalities at public appearances such as royal funerals. Sources within Spanish society suggest that Pilar disapproves of her sister's free-spirited approach, while Margarita resents perceived authority within the family hierarchy. Despite the absence of public statements, observers noted a visible chill in later years, with only mutual loyalty to Spain preventing deeper estrangement. The feud, understated yet enduring, reflects an internal fracture within the Bourbon family. Two royal monarchies bound by blood and duty, yet divided by personality, pride, and the passage of time. At number 11, we have Princess Benedict and Queen Margaret II of Denmark. As the middle daughter of King Frederick IX, Princess Benedict of Denmark once looked to her elder sister, Margaret, as a role model. That admiration curled over a few key slights. When Margaret became Queen Margaret II in 1982, Benedict found herself sidelined from the spotlights. Palace insiders recall Benedict fuming in private that her sister's coronation festivities stole her thunder. The gap widened when Margaret married a commoner, promoting debate over royal modernity. Benedict, raised in tradition, loudly complained behind closed doors. The palace says they became mysteriously distant after Benedict found Margaret refused to intervene in a contract dispute that affected Benedict's children's inheritance. They continued working together on charitable committees, but their meetings were tense. Benedict habitually bristled with Margaret's firm control of royal protocol, and Margaret privately worried Benedict's blunt manner would embarrass the monarchy. By the 2000s, the sisters barely vacationed together. Cousins noticed Margaret stopped inviting Benedict to summer cruises, unless necessary. A Danish courtier notes that at public events, Benedict now stands a half step behind Margaret, a literal physical gap representing and reflecting years of estrangement. The elder queen never gossiped about the rift. Benedict told friends she felt, quote, always second best. Today, in their 80s, the two maintain a polite facade, but behind closed doors, Benedict is said to remain resentful about her position. Next, we have Princess Madeleine and the Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden. Once known as Vicky and Me, Sweden's two granddaughters of queens have had a quietly stormy relationship. Crown Princess Victoria, heir apparent, grew up dutifully and poised, while her youngest sister, Madeleine, was more headstrong. Longtime Scandi watchers recall a pivotal rivalry during a 2001 Princess Madeleine triathlon. Madeleine insulted Victoria in public after losing, then ignored her sister at the medal ceremony. The feud simmered under the surface for years. The sisters competed. When Madeleine eloped to New York in 2010, Victoria was said to be so angry she refused to be officially photographed with her sister afterwards. In one infamous late-night telephone conversation leaked through palace channels, Victoria chided Madeleine for leaving her behind in Sweden's royal duties, and Madeleine retorted that Victoria was stuck in a glass case. According to royal correspondence, Victoria stopped supporting some of Madeleine's causes, and Madeleine complained that Victoria shared family secrets with the press. In recent years, they have publicly patched things up for the sake of their nieces and nephews, but the sisterly spark is gone. In photos of family gatherings, their smiles are polite, but their eyes avoid each other. To those who know them, the former Vicky and Me dynamic now reads like a fairy tale turned brittle. With both sisters forever caught in a brotherhood, neither truly won. Next up, a Monegasque feud of fame and fury, a royal sisterhood shattered by grief, and a queen divided by blood. The next three are more exciting. At number 9, Princess Margaret and Princess Marie Astrid of Luxembourg represent one of the lesser-known rivalries within the House of Nassau. Historical accounts indicate that while the family's lineage traces back to Queen Anne of the Netherlands, internal tensions emerged in later generations. Within the Luxembourgish royal household, Grand Duke Henry reportedly faced familiar pressures stemming from differing temperaments and roles among his sisters. His elder sisters, Princess Marie Astrid and Princess Margaret, appeared close in childhood, but as the monarchy transformed, their relationship cooled. Marie Astrid married into royalty and threw herself into maternal duty. On the other hand, Margaret sought a freer life, at one point juggling art and music careers. These choices fueled clashes. At one point, you could say Maggie publicly criticized Marie Astrid's traditional path very old-fashioned, while Marie Astrid thought that Margarita's bohemian friends improper. Their sisters quarreled over their children's custody, each accusing the other of trying to outdo her. Even Grand Duke Henry's abdication plans touched nerves. Marie Astrid felt that she should share the pageantry, but Margarita insisted that she deserve an equal role. When Henry announced a slimmed-down royal house focusing on his son's family, Marie Astrid was furious that Maggie's children, not hers, were chosen for the little style, suspecting favoritism. Since then, they exchange formal greetings at public events, but are no longer seen together socially. Longtime courtiers agree that the closeness is gone. As one put it, Luxembourg's elegant first and second daughters now treat each other like distant cousins. Next, we have Princess Marie and Princess Maria Pia of Liechtenstein. In the tiny principality of Liechtenstein, royal politics can be as fierce as anywhere. Cousins to each other, Marie and Maria Pia have been close friends publicly, but behind palace walls, some say a rivalry brewed. Maria Pia, with her diplomatic career, was seen as the traditionally dutiful sister, while Marie, a socialite with modern views, often pushed boundaries. When Maria Pia complained about Marie's luxurious lifestyle and late-night visits to Valdus Casino, tensions grew. The closest Liechtenstein watchers recall a family vacation in the 1990s where Maria Pia snapped at Marie for an unapproved business trip. In turn, Marie held a grudge when Maria Pia was appointed ambassador to OSCE in 1997. Marie had hoped for a glittering social role and felt overlooked. Rumors even say that once at a state banquet, Maria Pia reported Marie's outburst to her father. Marie later refused to offer a grandchild to him as punishment. Both princesses deny any feud, but according to aides, there is a sharp tone whenever the siblings speak privately now. On major occasions, the sisters smile together for the cameras, but they separate cars. Today, Princess Marie quietly devotes herself to charity, while Maria Pia to diplomacy. They remain sisters by blood, but the rivalry once talked about by Alice Salons has now become a most talked about discussion. At number 7, we have Princess Caroline and Princess Stephanie of Monaco. Despite being sisters, time couldn't keep Caroline and Stephanie close. Caroline, the elegant elder sister, watched in horror as Stephanie's teenage rebellion became tabloid fodder. Hot headlines about Stephanie partying, affairs, and shocking paternity scandals haunted the 1980s. The ultimate rift happened after a tragic demise of their mother, Princess Grace. Reports indicate that Stephanie's behavior in the aftermath caused significant strain within the family. Her public appearances and perceived recklessness were viewed by Princess Caroline as an embarrassment during a period of mourning. By the 1990s, their distance became evident, with official photographers from Monaco's National Day celebrations showing minimal interactions between the sisters. Caroline, focusing on her duties as the future sovereign and maintaining the principality's image, reportedly ceased mentioning Stephanie in private conversations, while their public exchanges remained formal and restrained. Stephanie in turn expressed frustration through the occasional public remarks and by challenging her sister's reputation for strict decorum. Sources within Monaco's court suggest that although the sisters temporarily reconciled at Prince Rainier III's funeral, the gesture was more symbolic than emotional. Today, while both continue to uphold the facade of unity during official functions, insiders acknowledge that the relationship remains distant. Their dynamic reflects a long-standing division between two royal figures shaped by different temperaments, Caroline embodying discipline and duty and Stephanie representing rebellion and independence, resulting in one of Europe's most enduring royal rifts. The next three shock even royal loyalists: a queen torn by rebellion, a duchess undone by scandal, and sisters turned into rivals. Next, we have Queen Sophia of Spain and Princess Irene of Greece. Two daughters of King Paul of Greece, Sophia and Irene, were raised inseparable, yet old letters hint that ideological clashes grew over decades. Sophia married into the Spanish royal family and ended up embracing her role as queen consort, while Irene, the timid one, drifted into bohemian art and spiritualism. Family confidants say that Irene's free-spirited choices were a constant source of tension. The sisters once fought as young girls over trivial birthday disputes, but later the stakes were higher. Sophia, ever conscious of protocol, quietly resented Irene's habit of public outbursts and her role in Greek conspiracy circles. Meanwhile, Irene was bitter that Sophie's children getting all the royal limelight and privileges. By the 1990s, the two rarely spoke beyond obligatory public events. Photographs show curt smiles at gatherings like National Day celebrations, and according to gossip columns of the time, Sophia even refused Irene a bedroom at the Zarzuela Palace when Irene stayed in Spain. The final rupture reportedly came after Emperor Constantine's death. Sophia's children criticized Irene's mournful behavior as self-serving, and Sophia took her daughters aside, saying that it was, quote, for the sake of the family to distance themselves. Today, in their 80s, Sophia and Irene live in different worlds. They no longer share holidays. At number 5, we have Princess Benedict of Denmark and Princess Margarita of Luxembourg. Two cousins by marriage have long been the subject of reports detailing a discreet but enduring rivalry within European royal circles. Both women, born in historic monarchs and married to princes, represent distinct approaches to royal life. Princess Margarita often is characterized as composed and diplomatically restrained, reflecting the Luxembourgish royal family preference for discretion, while Princess Benedict has been noted for her outspoken and traditional demeanor within the Danish court. The tensions surfaced in 2010 when Margaret made an offhand comment about Nordic rigidity during a diplomatic panel. Danish tabloids instantly ran with it, painting Benedict as a quote-unquote fiery outsider. The comparison stung, and at international royal gatherings soon after, Benedict reportedly ignored Margaret entirely, a calculated act noticed by every courtier in the room. What followed was a decade of subtle jabs disguised as etiquette. Margarita once teased Benedict about Denmark's handsome crown prince, prompting a withering glare. Benedict later returned fire by joking publicly about Luxembourg's quote-unquote humble palace budget during a charity gala. Neither ever declared rivalries openly, but the chill between them was unmistakable. At stable dinners, they sat on opposite ends of the table. At family weddings, they exchanged polite smiles and nothing more. To outsiders, it seemed just like royal decorum, but behind palace walls, it's an unspoken enmity of pride between two queens in waiting. Next, we have Princess Irina and Princess Sophie of Romania, King Michael I's daughters. Sophie and Irina, middle sisters of the clan of 5, once shared childhood summers, but an Oregon scandal turned them into rivals. In 2014, Princess Irina, the third daughter, was arrested and later convicted of running an illegal business in rural Oregon. The international humiliation drew harsh condemnation. Sophie, Michael's heir presumptive, publicly expressed her shock. Behind palace walls, Sophie quietly blamed Irina for tarnishing the family name and demanded discipline. Reports of Romanian royal circles indicate a prolonged estrangement between Princess Sophie and Princess Irina, daughters of the late King Michael I of Romania. The rift reportedly deepening following Irina's legal troubles in the United States, which resulted in significant reputation damage to the royal family abroad. According to palace insiders, Princess Sophie was instrumental in advising her father to revoke Irina's dynastic privileges, effectively removing her from official royal duties and public events. This decision led to lasting resentment. Correspondence and public statements suggest that Irina felt deeply betrayed, accusing Sophie of prioritizing personal ambition and royal image over family royalty and loyalty. Letters cited by biographers described Irina disappointed that her sister neither posted bail nor offered public support during her legal proceedings. Over the years, you should know, communication between the two has reportedly ceased altogether, with family sources confirming that they no longer exchange greetings or attend private gatherings together. Now the final 3. A Spanish rift between royal daughters, Danish sisters torn by duty, and Britain's crown weighed down by envy. At number 3, we have Infanta Elena and Infanta Cristina of Spain. In Spain's Bourbon dynasty, King Philippe VI's two older sisters, Elena and Cristina, once seemed a united front, but scandal drove a wedge through their bond. When Cristina's husband, Inaki Ernagarin, was charged with the Noose corruption trial, Elena publicly distanced herself. The sisters, who grew up together at Zarzuela Palace, turned inwardly on each other as Cristina's name caught a bad reputation. Spanish tabloids reported Elena was furious with Cristina's reckless abandon, quietly admonishing her in family meetings. By 2014, after Felipe succeeded Juan Carlos, both Elena and Cristina were unceremoniously scrubbed from the official royal website, an unprecedented freeze-out of two royal siblings. Even Elena's own children were photographed away from their Aunt Cristina. Court insiders say Elena felt Cristina's actions dishonored the crown, and she found Cristina's media apologies hollow and too late. Cristina felt hurt by Elena's cold attitude and said that her niece had grown distant like other European royals. The feud ended up turning truly bitter as legal battles loomed. Cristina later likened the family atmosphere to an inquisition. The emotional divorce between the two sisters has already shaped the modern Spanish monarchy. One key outcome was Felipe's vow to strip titles from extended royals. The royal feud affected more than just the family. His public trust in the crown fell, and Felipe's modern monarchy partly emerged from Elena and Cristina's falling out. And next, we have Queen Margaret II of Denmark and Queen Anne-Marie of Greece. Two sisters and members of Denmark's royal family experienced a long-standing rift originating in the late 1960s. Both daughters of Queen Ingrid, they shared close upbringing during their early years in Denmark. However, relations reportedly deteriorated following the Crown Princess Margaret's marriage to French aristocrat met Henri de la Borde de Montpezat in June 1967. Historical accounts indicate that Anne-Marie and her husband, King Constantine II of Greece, were notably absent from the guest list, a decision widely perceived as a deliberate exclusion. Contemporary sources describe the omission as a major personal and diplomatic slight, leading to lasting resentment between the sisters. Following Anne-Marie's ascension as Queen of Greece, reports suggested that tensions persisted, with both maintaining formal cordiality in public while remaining distant in private. Palace insiders noted that Anne-Marie felt marginalized by her elder sister's rising prominence in Denmark, while Margaret reportedly disapproved of her younger sister's impulsive nature and marriage choices. In later years, observers described their interactions at official family events as polite but strained, characterized by minimal personal warmth. Although both queens have avoided public comment on the matter, royal aides and biographers continue to cite the 1967 wedding as the incident as a defining moment that reshaped their relationship, turning youthful affection into decades of quiet estrangement. At number 1, we have Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Margaret of Great Britain. Despite their public composure, Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Margaret's relationship was marked by genuine tension and emotional distance. While Elizabeth dutifully becoming queen and Margaret cast as a glamorous rebel, tensions simmered. Biographers note Margaret's quote-unquote primal jealousy toward her older sister's crown. In outburst, Margaret stormed into Elizabeth's drawing room during a state visit and spat, "If you weren't queen, nobody would talk to you." Historical records and biographical accounts indicate that beneath the royal formalities lay years of rivalry, private disappointments, and unspoken resentment. While Queen Elizabeth assumed the heavy responsibility of the throne, Princess Margaret often struggled with just the restrictions imposed by the royal life, leading to growing frustration and a sense of neglect. Over time, their bond weakened as Margaret's personal difficulties, including her well-documented battle with alcoholism, contrasted sharply with her sister's disciplined lifestyle and duty-bound image. Observers have noted that their interactions became increasingly formal in later years, with limited personal warmth visible in public appearances. The Queen's visible grief at Margaret's funeral in 2002, where she was weeping as the coffin passed, offered a rare glimpse into the emotional complexity of their connection. Analysis described their relationship as once defined by affection and rivalry in equal measure, a lifelong struggle between personal affection and institutional duty that ultimately shaped the emotional narrative of Britain's modern monarchy. With this, we end today's video. We'll be back with a new video shortly. Until then, happy watching, and do subscribe to our channel if you still haven't.